Six Flags Mexico is an often overlooked amusement park due to the fact that it's pretty remote. You see, there's not a whole lot of amusement parks in Mexico, and because of that, this park is very underrated. My incentive today is to spread awareness of this park because I don't think the average person would expect it to be one of the best parks in the chain, but it is. If you've ever thought of going here, if you know nothing about the park, whatever your situation is, this is the perfect video for you. I'll be diving deep into what you can expect from Mexico's flagship amusement park in today's video. In May of last year, my brother and I flew to the country because we wanted to experience something new. As a roller coaster enthusiast, the biggest draw of doing so was to see a major park that so few enthusiasts have had the chance to visit. Going in, I knew so little about this park, so you can imagine my shock when it became one of my favorites I've ever been to. Before talking about the key takeaways I had, where can you find this park? Six Flags Mexico is located in the state of Mexico City in the outskirts of North America's largest metropolitan area. More than 21 million people live here, meaning there is a huge population that this park is able to draw from. It's really no wonder why Six Flags frequently invests a lot of money into this place. From the city center, it'll be about a 40-minute drive without traffic and upwards of an hour with traffic, which leads me on to my next point. The traffic in this city is the worst I've ever seen. Like seriously, if you thought New York City was bad, you have no idea. So trust, you do not want to be driving in Mexico unless you absolutely have to, which is why I can't recommend Uber here enough. Uber operates all over the country and is safe, cheap, and efficient. These drivers are totally used to the chaotic driving and will get you from point A to point B at a stupidly cheap rate in addition. The first day I went here was a few hours after opening on a Saturday. The second was around the same time on a Sunday. Any guess as to which was quieter? If you guessed Saturday, you'd be correct. The most I had to wait for anything on a Saturday was 10 minutes, and the marquee coasters were no more than 5 most of the day. On Sunday, crowds were noticeably heavier, which was really confusing to me. In the United States, parks are always swamped on Saturdays, but not in Mexico, I guess. If any of you know why this is, I'd really appreciate a comment down below because I'm genuinely curious as to why. Onto the rides, Six Flags Mexico currently has 9 operating roller coasters. The 2 headliners are Medusa Steel Coaster and Superman El Ultimo Escape. Medusa Steel Coaster is Latin America's only Rocky Mountain construction hybrid coaster and was my favorite attraction in the park. The sequencing of elements along with the pacing was exceptional, plus it has a very cool well-themed queue line. I wouldn't say the airtime was quite as powerful as some of the other RMCs I've ridden, but that issue was improved upon past sunset. When the night rides commence, this coaster speeds up more than just about any RMC I've ever seen. The same can absolutely be said about Superman El Ultimo Escape. Seriously, what a night ride. But even in the daytime, this thing rips through its elements. I've had the chance to ride every Morgan manufactured roller coaster in North America, and none fly through its elements quite like this one. It has a perfect balance of great airtime and extreme laterals, in addition to absolutely none of its trim brakes being in use, meaning a lot of airtime in the return leg. Unfortunately, this park does have a weaker supporting lineup of coasters contrary to many of the other Six Flags parks, with third place probably going to Batman the Ride. Now, I will give credit where credit is due and say that this is a shockingly good coaster despite it featuring the notorious Vekoma SLC layout. It's not like this one has trains with vest restraints either, it just seemed to track far smoother than the others, which really makes up for that. A ride that no one seems to talk about is Joker, because at first glance it appears to be your typical Pandemonium clone that you can find at most Six Flags parks. But this one is really different, let me tell you. First of all, not only does it run with its own custom layout, but it has absolutely no trim brakes. I kept telling myself we are going way too fast, it's gotta trim at the next trim brake, but it didn't. It absolutely flew through its layout, making it feel more like a thrill ride than a family ride, to be honest with you. I also really enjoyed the special effects and the Funhouse-like queue line, which really made it a full package. Another fan favorite is their SNS 40 free spin Wonder Woman, which was actually pretty fun. I personally really enjoy these free spins for what they are, and hey, you've got to cut it some slack because it's totally unique to the area. I also saw that there was a Dark Knight coaster here, which was closed since indoor attractions weren't permitted due to COVID, but I've ridden an identical ride at Six Flags Great Adventure, so I knew what to expect. In typical Six Flags fashion, you'll also find a Vekoma Boomerang coaster, and also there's a handful of small coasters, which to be fair were all presented quite nicely. If I were in charge, I'd definitely be looking into a strong third place coaster or something that could fill in the supporting cast. Particularly, this park doesn't have a launch coaster, so I think something like an SNS Vekoma or Mach could do wonders here. But I certainly can't complain about their top 2. Again, it's really what holds up this collection and makes it worth traveling a far distance to see. Plus, to be fair, the park does have a handful of strong flat rides to make up for it. The most popular is definitely Crazanity. This is a Zamperla Giant Discovery, same thing as many of the other Six Flags parks, but these are still great. I also saw an SNS Drop Tower, a classic Sky Screamer, a number of water rides, and a Justice League Dark Ride. For the size park that it is, I definitely consider the ride lineup to be pretty solid overall, but I still wouldn't say that the rides were the strongest focal point of this park. I'd say the guest experience was, which is amazing because Six Flags is known to be kind of run down in that department. Six Flags Mexico seriously has the fastest operations I've seen at any amusement-specific park in North America. I could not believe how fast the ops were going. They would have a train for Superman gone in like 40 seconds. It was unbelievable. Speaking of operations, they weren't just fast in their dispatches, but they were good in general. I don't think I saw any outdoor ride closed during my stay. Better yet, everything was running at its maximum capacity. The coasters, the drop tower, even the shoot the chute ride for Christ's sake. Another strong suit of this park is that it's absolutely stunning. The architecture was great, the landscaping was beautiful, and the rides all look nice. Honestly, from a general appearance perspective, perspective, I think this park excels, which again is not something most would expect from a Six Flags park in Mexico. I have to say too, I had really good interactions with the employees and also some of the best clientele of any park I've been to. Of course, that's probably just the Mexican people being awesome per usual. Everyone is super nice here. But one of the best examples I can think of is literally everyone in the park wearing a face covering properly. And okay, look, we all have different opinions on the pandemic and politics, but the fact that matters is that they were required during our stay and didn't need to be enforced at all. It was really refreshing seeing the entitlement of Americans left out of the country. I said what I said. Regardless, that's just one of the many reasons I walked away impressed. Some other minor things to take note of. Obviously, they use the Mexican peso here, so just keep that in mind. I didn't attempt to use the US dollar here, but I'm just going to assume that it's not accepted. Before heading to the park, be sure to convert your currency to peso so that you don't run into any issues during your stay. So to conclude this review, I think Six Flags Mexico is one of the most surprising amusement parks I've ever been to. Between the elite top 2 coasters, excellent guest service, and stunning park appearance, this is an easy 9 out of 10 park for me. I've gotten a lot of questions asking where I'd rank this park in the chain, and I think currently it would place in the top 3. This isn't me being lenient or biased, the park is genuinely that good, though do keep in mind I haven't been to Six Flags Great America, which might explain the ranking. Had I been there and had that park be better than this one, it would probably still be number 4 though. Nonetheless, I can't recommend this park enough. As if there wasn't already a lot to do in Mexico City, Six Flags Mexico is yet another thing to add to your bucket list. Because it is located quite far from home, I don't expect that it'll be back for a long time, but if one thing's for certain, I look forward to keeping up with the park's history. I think it's got a bright future ahead, and as more coaster enthusiasts head out to visit, word will continue to get out for how great of a park this is. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to give me a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content quite like this. Also, for those of you interested, I have a Discord server that was recently created by a group of fans of the channel. A link will be in the description for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.